Welcome back to another episode of A Journey Through Cinema. We are returning to the year of 1914. Today we are looking back at another landmark film in cinematic history with Tillie's Punctured romance. This film had a lot of firsts. It was the first feature that legendary actor Charlie Chaplin would star in. It was the first feature-length U.S. comedy. It was the first feature-length slapstick movie. And there are some sources that would even claim that it was the first feature-length comedy in general ever. And I will be clear, I think that last claim may be a little more dubious, and I found it hard to confirm or debunk. But it is also believed to be the first film to feature a film-in-film scene during a segment where one of the characters or a couple of the characters go to a theater. This would also be notable for being the last film that Chaplin would star in that he didn't either write or direct. Tillie's Punctured Romance was a landmark movie for these three actors, Charlie Chaplin, Mary Dressler, and Mabel Normand. Chaplin had only just begun his movie career this year and had quickly risen through the ranks of actors to become one of the biggest stars in the film business. At this time, he had already developed out his iconic tramp character, but in this he forgoes it to play just this outright slimy villain. He's a city slicker womanizer who tries to seduce and take advantage of the titular character Tillie, played by Mary Dressler. And speaking of Dressler, she was a veteran stage actor brought in specifically for this role. Mabel Normand, on the other hand, appears as Chaplin's ex-lover. The two of them had already been paired with each other in other movies, such as Mabel's Strange Predicament, which was actually the first time Chaplin ever played his tramp character. And they also appeared together in Mabel's Married Life. She would go on to star in 14 more films with him. This would be the only feature-length picture produced by Keystone Studios and directed by the king of comedy, Mack Sennett, known for directing and acting in hundreds of comedy shorts throughout the 1910s. Unsurprisingly, this too would be his first, but also his last, feature-length film. The movie sees Chaplin's villainous character arrive in the country after a fight with his ex-girlfriend. When he sees how rich Tillie's father is, he convinces her to elope with him. Then he and his old girlfriend plot to steal Tillie's money and nearly succeed, until, that is, Charlie reads that Tillie's uncle has died and she is standing to inherit all of his money. With this new change in goal, Charlie's plan now is to marry her and secure the fortune for himself. So as you can see, this is a very different sort of role from Chaplin's usual bumbling yet charming idiot in The Tramp. Here he's a full-on villain. He still has his classic energy and he can take a tumble well, but there really is no redeeming qualities to this rogue. This may be why this film has often been forgotten as one of his features. The character is mean-spirited, and you really don't feel bad for him when he gets his comeuppance. And that's probably the greatest flaw of this film. Chaplin doesn't really need his tramp persona, but it does help him come off as more likable when playing these sort of shifty characters. Besides that, most of the movie is pretty standard slapstick fare. There's lots of people tripping over themselves, furniture being flipped, and even the famous Keystone cops make an appearance. There are some more, creative moments of comedy, like when Charlie goes to a theater with his girlfriend and they watch a melodrama about a thief and suddenly they're just overcome with grief for what they've done, only for them literally instantaneously to lose that guilt when a more devious scheme presents itself. But these moments are mostly drowned out by the usual slapstick silliness that work far better in a, say, 10 to 20 minute short rather than this full-length film. It does overstay its welcome. It is interesting from the perspective that Charlie would perfect this feature film model later in his career with such films as The Kid and Gold Rush. He found extremely creative ways to set up slapstick scenarios and then ridiculously played off them as they got progressively more absurd. He also managed to build stories around these string of antics that would just keep viewers hooked. Tillie's Punctured Romance really misses this kind of natural comedic development, or really just Chaplin in the director's chair, if we're being honest. The movie can drag on, and Tillie herself is kind of forgotten in her own movie as an unmemorable character, despite the fact that Mary Dressler was paid way more than her two co-stars at that time. The movie mostly uses her size for laughs, the same way that they did kind of in the Roscoe Fatty Arbuckle films. And though the size difference between, scrawny Charlie and big Tillie makes for some good visual dichotomy, especially in the silent medium, it's mostly played for just cheap, tired gags. Tillie's kind of just this undefined buffoon, and she lacks the real identity that somebody like Chaplin or Buster Keaton invented for their characters. But the film was successful in getting Dressler's name out there, and she would go on to star in many more successful movies, and even win herself an early Oscar. Mabel Normand, meanwhile, is sleepwalking through this movie. She mostly is playing second fiddle to Charlie's schemes. She's naturally cute as a button, but she never gets to be, downright dastardly enough to be fun. And she doesn't really have a strong enough redemption arc to be, outright likable. Even if the film at the very, very end really wants her to be. And we're going to get real quick into some spoiler territory here, so be sure to click away if you do want to see it yourself. But otherwise, just stay tuned. The movie ends with Charlie marrying Tillie, but then the uncle returns, alive and well, and the jig is up. The uncle demands that Tillie and Charlie and Mabel, they should all be arrested for the damages done to his house. Which is, understandable, given that Tillie did start a gunfight inside. The three are chased by the Keystone cops, and they all end up in the river. Tillie and Mabel become friends very quickly, and it ends with them deciding to leave the villainous Charlie. It's all pretty silly, fluffy, and nonsensical, which is fine. This is slapstick after all. But the problem is, it's not really anything unique. If it wasn't for the fact that this movie had a lot of big firsts, Tillie's Punctured Romance would probably vanish into all the other movies from the 1913s and 14s. It may have moments where it's doing the genre of slapstick well, but it just doesn't stand out enough and doesn't get creative enough to justify its full-length runtime. In the end, the milestones it hits, they're way more interesting than the movie itself. And that's going to be my review for Tillie's Punctured Romance. If you enjoyed this and want to see some more historical reviews, be sure to subscribe. We'll see you next time. Thank you. Keep those reels turning.